Hey, this is Anthony Gomes, and you're watching LOADin. Turn it up.
All right, we'll just jump into the interview then.
Okay.
So I guess the best way to start out is, I would assume most people know you were born in Canada, and you moved into St. Louis, correct?
It took a while to get here. I moved to Chicago, then Nashville, and then to St. Louis.
Okay. What got you to end up in St. Louis?
Well, my managers here and some of my bandmates about 8 years ago were based out of here. So
Okay.
it just sort of made sense. And then I met a girl in St. Louis and ...
I know how that goes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still in St. Louis after 32 years, so the girls tend to keep me here.
Yeah.
So where did music start for you? I mean, and was it blues that got you hooked?
I always loved the blues, but I didn't know it.
Right.
You know, I just loved music, and I love music in general. And I got into the blues probably in my late teens when I really started to dig deep.
Right.
But music was always I was always listening to music and loving music and writing songs, not melodies and stuff. Just I used to love listening to the beginning of a song, and I try to create a melody before the real melody came in.
Right.
You know, when I was a kid, so I've just naturally felt that.
What was one of the first bands or artists that really made you think, I need to do some research here? I need to find what I love.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of an evolution, right? I think the first concert I went to when I was like 5 was the Turtles, you know.
Oh, wow.
But you sort of evolve, and your tastes, you find what you dig, and
Of course.
And I was really driven to guitar, blues-based stuff, and that was something that I didn't stumble upon. I said, I really love B.B. King. I love the Rolling Stones. I love all these blues rock bands. And they say I should be listening to blues guys.
Right.
Well, let me go listen to blues guys. And I took 2 buses. I lived in the Toronto suburbs.
Okay.
Took 2 buses, a couple subway trains, and I went to this record store called Sam the Record Man. And man, I went up 3 flights of stairs because they kept all the good stuff there, blues, jazz, and classical. And I saw B.B. King on CD, live at the Regal, $7.99.
That's a great album.
And I thought, well, that's in my budget, and I went home, and I instantly fell in love with the blues. And the thing that I really dug was it made sense to me. Like Hendrix made sense in a way that he hadn't before.
Right.
And it's sort of this analogy. Let's say people ask, what's your favorite food? And you say, well, apple pie. But you've never had an apple. So to me, I was eating all the dough and crust and sugar and cinnamon just to get to that apple, which was in there.
Right.
And then when I found that essence of the music, I felt like I was inside music, looking outward, as opposed to with just rock looking inside whatever this house of music was.
Right.
And it was just a really profound and life-changing moment.
I can relate to the whole B.B. King thing. My parents raised me on blues and rock and roll, so I totally get that.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
So you've made what I have noticed is a slew of music now.
Yes.
11 albums. So 1998 was the first one, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how's the progression been from 98 to now? Has there been any massive changes? I mean, obviously you've evolved.
Yeah. Well, if you work hard at your craft, my heroes always got better.
Right.
Jeff Beck is a better guitar player in his early 70s than he was in his 20s or 30s. I love the blues, but finding yourself in the blues sometimes is difficult because people have a preconceived idea. Because the blues is described as the root of all music, right, and where it all began, you're sort of pigeonholed, because if you grow in any, well, then that's not blues anymore. So we're stuck in a time machine from approximately 1895 to 1955, and anything beyond that is sacrilegious, because it just becomes something that the blues influenced.
Right.
You know, oh no, that's not blues, that's R&B. Oh no, that's not blues, that's rock and roll. And then they throw me in the mix, and I just upset the apple cart. I mean, I've been upsetting blues purists since 1998, man.
That's
I've
the
been
way it should be.
A bee in their bonnet. But look, Muddy Waters got booed for playing electric.
Right.
B.B. King put horns on Thrill Is Gone. These were radical things. These people were pioneers because they went against the grain.
Right.
And I don't push the envelope to disrespect tradition because I've studied it and I respect it and I love it.
Of course.
But I think I don't want to be a Civil War reenactor. You know, I don't want to put on the uniform and say, my name is, you know, Mudbone, you know, Blind Lemon Gomes from Canada. I mean, that's not going to fly. I love the blues. I love B.B. King, and I love Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and I love Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin.
Right.
So I don't see a distinction between them in my mind.
Well, and it's your music.
Right.
You are playing your music, so no one can tell you what type of blues to play. You take your influences and everything that's made you who you are in the music industry, and you mix it all together.
Let me write that down. That down.
So, and kind of in the same vein as all that, is there anything that would... It's kind of a question I like to ask a lot of the artists. Is there anything that would throw your fans off musically? Like things that you would listen to on your day alone that maybe people would be surprised that you're into?
I'm open to anything. You know, I mean, I can groove out on ABBA. I like ABBA.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, my name's Anthony Gomes, and I listen to ABBA. Well, I don't really like... Yeah, I listen to ABBA and the Bee Gees, too.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the Bee Gees.
Oh, man. I mean, come on.
His range, the range and the vocals on that is, you can't get that anymore. Well, I guess you can, but it's a lot harder to find. I also want to talk about your foundation.
Yes. Music is the medicine. We started this foundation in 2010, and the whole idea was music's been really good to me.
Right.
And good for me, and I just wanted to give back. And it started very humbly. And now it's sort of grown to this really cool thing where we've given guitars and lessons to war vets with PT, post-traumatic stress disorder. We had one guy that couldn't speak for years. And the guitar opened up his channel to communication. So we helped the guy who hadn't spoken years to start speaking. We've worked with kids with cancer, help them through that. Autism, nonverbal autism. And this happened in Montreal, which is in the province of Quebec. In Canada, we have provinces and not states, and there's about 8 million people. Well, people are looking at the model that this guy Danny has designed, and Music is the Medicine has championed, and now they're thinking of moving that, expanding that, because this is sort of groundbreaking,
absolutely,
amazing music therapy work. So, so I could talk forever, but the one really cool thing about this is it reminded me about what music is. It's not about chart positions and ticket sales. Music is about a community and healing, and to see these people playing music together and it's healing and helping them, man, it was just so moving.
It gives people something where they may not have anything, to keep them positive and moving forward. I know that's amazing.
Yeah.
How can people find it?
Musicisthemedicine.org. They can find us there, and they can learn more or donate, or if you have we get people asking about used instruments. If you have a guitar lying around that you're not using, hey, donate it. We'll find somebody that could use it.
Awesome. Okay, and just last couple things. I want to make sure you plug any social medias that you have, anything like that. And if I heard you have a new album on the works.
Yes.
So maybe if you wanna plug that a little bit too, and
yeah, end of the summer we should have our new album, Peace, Love, and Loud Guitars. Super stoked about this album.
I love that name, by the way.
Thank you, man. Thank you. There's some best songs I think I've ever written are on this one. Every artist lies and says my latest album is the best ever. They lie. They lied to you, but I'm actually telling the truth. This is
totally the truth.
It is. And there's some really great tunes on there. There's some very serious spiritual songs. There's some funny ones. One's called "Your Mama Wants to Do Me and Your Daddy Wants to Do Me In." There's So I'm just really excited by it, man. I just think it's going to be great. You can find us at anthonygomes.com. That's GOMES. And from there, you can navigate it. It has links to all our social media. Gomes Music is our Facebook page. Anthony Gomes is Twitter. But just go there, and it'll link you to everywhere on the World Wide Web.
Perfect. Well, I had a blast.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad you were able to share some of these stories with us. And obviously, we love having you here. You're here all the time, even when you're not playing.
Yeah, man.
We always see you here for shows. So Rock House loves you. St. Louis loves you. I appreciate you spending the time with us tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely.